have severe strategies set up on the off chance that anybody in this venue commits a demonstration of viciousness. Anytime during the show, you will be granted the Oscar for Best Entertainer. In the event that anything unusual or rough occurs during the service, simply do what you did last year, nothing as the most youthful Nobel Prize victor in history. I was pondering, do you think Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine? I just discussion about Harmony Smoke. You all realize what befell me getting smacked by Suge Smith. Applause. Everyone knows, yes, it happened. I got smacked like a year prior last week. I have smacked in the Oscars by this and individuals. Like, didn't hurt, it actually harms when you're watching this. The 2023 Oscars have gone back and forth. And for some who watched it, they delighted in seeing numerous extraordinary individuals get grants that they merited, not the least of which was the cast and team of everything, wherever at the same time, the film cleared the Oscars with their selections including getting Best Entertainer, Best Supporting Entertainer, and obviously Best Picture anyway, while many were centered around the present. Many were all the while thinking about the past explicitly, the 2022 Oscars occasion that highlighted Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. It would have been abnormal for nobody to address it. So Jimmy Kimmel did only that Will separated for you. Yet before we help out by leaving a like on the video buying into the feed and raising a ruckus around town symbol, so you never miss a transfer from us. And so we should get straight into the video. Need to win an iPhone 12. Perhaps a MacBook Star, how 500 money. You should simply remark the mystery stowed away message someplace in this video. That is all there is to it, gracious. And leave a like on this video. And buy into the feed, so we can continue to manage the cost of these giveaways, champ. Will be declared at the last day of every month. Gratitude for watching and best of luck. The responses, there were lots of responses from individuals. Once the satire exceptional broadcasted, well, you folks are battling, realize that we're not above all else. I realize you can't perceive on camera. Will Smith is essentially greater than me, yet the one that the vast majority highlight is the detailed response through a source from Will Smith, supposedly was humiliated by information exchanged about him and Jada. And it didn't end there. Will apologize to Chris and would like for Chris to let it go. The source added Willis chipped away at himself, and he's prohibited by the Oscars for quite some time. He feels like stop and maintains that Chris should continue on so he and every other person can too. Will is additionally disturbed that Netflix was a piece of this. Understand what everybody, well, his better half was her child's companion. Oak. No, I typically wouldn't discuss this, and thinks Chris offending Jada again is unsportsmanlike. He's upset that Netflix gave Chris this stage to share these messages and believes it's disagreeable. However, the new ruler of Bel Air Entertainer actually has a ton to say, since he felt horrendous for such a long time about smacking Chris at the Oscars. He's tried, and tragically, failed to offer to set things straight in the most ideal way he could with Chris on the grounds that everyone happened. Everyone that truly knows realizes I didn't have anything to do with that. I had no traps. Different superstars said something regarding the unique, and their reactions changed fiercely. For instance, the individuals who were on Chris Rock and his exceptional included August Alsina. August watched the Netflix exceptional, and he snickered. A source told the Post he thought it was entertaining, as well as honest. That was the most outstanding aspect for him. Many individuals stood in opposition to Alsina, yet for reasons unknown, these put that on the web. I have no clue about why two gifted individuals would accomplish something that wretched what the source said, so he was glad to see that Chris Rock appeared to be pushing for reality and not making a joke. Someone else who was on Chris Rock's side was Marlon Wayans, who felt that the exceptional was Rock's approach to recuperating. It was great to hear him talk about it. You could see it was enthusiastic. Wayne expressed out loud whatever you heard was someone that was harmed, someone that was tracking down their method for mending at that time. Regardless of whether you accept that statement, will rely upon whose side you stand on, with a year presently being past since everything went down. It's conceivable that between this satire extraordinary and the Oscars reference, the things will at long last subside. However, at that point again, perhaps they won't. It's difficult to say, given all who's elaborate Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars. So we should get right to the Oscars. Will we, as noted, it was a major occasion for some, and Jimmy Kimmel needed to make it go flawlessly this time around, or he probably won't have it any longer. Fortunately, he appeared to work effectively. Jimmy Kimmel tended to last year's Oscar lap during his initial discourse, and he did it very much like most everybody figured he would, with a joke and a punch, and an admonition 3 times. Have was back Sunday to take on MC obligations. And his comments at the highest point of the show didn't evade the obvious issue at hand. It took some time for Jay Che to get to the slap, sprinkling in shots at a ton of different stars in advance. Yet when he did, he went in like you anticipated that he should. Jimmy ridiculed showrunners from 2022, saying they had an emergency group set up this evening. Yet noticed that on the off chance that anything happened, he anticipated that they should do what they did last year. Literally nothing. He even kidded that in the event that anybody attacked another person, this time they'd be granted Best Entertainer, given a phase for a discourse, and an embrace to boot. He additionally made a point to specify that they believe that individuals should have a solid sense of reassurance then. At that point, roping in a lot of stars into conceivable security, he could need to enact on the off chance that anybody had a go at pursuing him for a joke they could have done without. He named dropped Michelle Yeoh, Michael B. Jordan, Andrew Garfield, Pedro Pascal, Steven Spielberg, and others as individuals any future aggressor would need to overcome if they have any desire to thunder in front of an audience. A little prior in the speech, Kimmel appeared to again reference the slap while discussing every one of the Irish entertainers designated for this present year. With him kidding, there could be another battle, fortunately for all included, and every one of those at home. There was no battling of any sort at the Oscars this year. There might have been battles at watchers' homes, relying upon how they saw the champs. Yet that is not the Oscars issue, definitely, regardless of what. It's not hard to see the reason why this was such a great amount on their psyches, including how simply 7 days past Chris Rock dropped a parody unique on Netflix, where he at last focused on the occurrence. And afterward, that exceptional was altered. Netflix altered a joke Chris Rock made about Will Smith from his particular shock satire unique. After Rock confounded 2 of Smith's motion pictures, this extraordinary, which circulated on Spring 4th, denoted the real-time feature's most memorable live worldwide streaming occasion, permitting watchers to see each joke and screw up. As per the Hollywood journalist, Rock wrecked a kid about a discussion he had with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith about the Oscars in 2016. Quite a while back, his significant other said, "I ought to stop the Oscars. I shouldn't have, in light of the fact that her man didn't get selected for Liberation, the greatest piece of at any point," Rock told the live crowd in Baltimore, Maryland, where the unique was shot. No, not Liberation.